Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's Sensei Pink and I'm coming back to you guys for my review on Lower Olympus episode 142. Now, as always guys, go follow me on both Instagram and Twitter and hit that subscribe and notification button to see more weekly videos. So in this episode, we kick it off with Hera sort of waiting in this room when she turns around to hear someone say mom, and we finally get to see her other son, Hephaestus. After thanking him for meeting her and commenting on how well he looks and mentioning that they miss him at home, Hephaestus sort of brushes it off and wants to get down to business. Hera then hands him Percy's SIM card and mentions that she's out of depth with this sort of situation and asks him if he can get rid of whatever's on there. Hephaestus then says that he could and that it should be a cinch and that this is all he needs to get started. And shortly after turns and says goodbye. After he turns, Hera's just like, wait. And once he looks back at her, she tells him that he should come visit because Hebe would love to meet him. And as he turns back away from his mom, he says he'll think about it. After meeting with his mother, Hephaestus makes his way back to this big computer room where he asks his AI assistant Etna to do a general search on Persephone. After her search, Hephaestus then sort of inserts the SIM card into his arm, and Etna begins going through the files, but then Hephaestus sort of states he's sorry because they're going to be seeing some graphic images, and Etna assures him that she won't feel a thing since she's an AI, and they both get started. Now, cutting up from Hephaestus, we cut over to Persephone, who is at work with Hades when she sees a text pop up from Hera saying that her photo problem should be solved soon. Persephone then begins to excuse herself and tells Hades that she's going to use his fancy crawl space or small side office space to make a call real quick. After making her way there and taking a seat, she thinks about how Eros believes her, Hera believes her, and that she's not ready to tell her truth, but she could at least try. We then cut over to Artemis, who is at home making a microwave pizza when she receives an unknown call, and it's revealed to be Persephone. Surprised that it's Persephone, Artemis is just like, Persephone, are you okay? And Percy's just like, yeah, but then after a moment, she says no. Artemis then tells her if she comes home, they can go to Zeus together, and Percy just sort of cuts her off and says, it's your brother. Now, after Artemis asks what she means, Percy tells her that the reason is really hard for her to tell because it's because of Artemis that she was able to come to the mortal realm, and that she gave her a chance and that she wants her to know that she is extremely grateful for that. But the fact remains that she hates her brother, he makes her miserable, and she doesn't want to ruin her relationship with him. But the fact still stands that she just can't stand to be around him. Now beginning to let the anxiety, fear, and I guess panic get to her, Percy is just like, I'm sorry. And she's sweating and sort of losing it because her hair begins to get longer. She suddenly hangs up the phone saying goodbye and sort of stands there for a moment just not regretting I guess, but just exasperated over what she just tried to tell Artemis. Now, coming back to the office looking a bit disheveled, Percy mentions to Hades how he mentioned that when she began to feel better, she could go shopping for her own clothes. And we then end this episode with Percy basically telling Hades that she wants to go shopping now. Now, first of all, I am so happy that we finally got to see Hephaestus. He's honestly our first disabled character in this series, so that's pretty interesting to see. I wonder if it's sort of like the regular story, where I think Zeus is the one who basically handicaps him. If so, it's really fucked up. I wouldn't want to be home if I was him too. Another thing, I love his little, I guess, a geek quality that he has. Another thing adding on is that I am just so happy that Percy's trying to get her truth to Artemis, although it didn't get out. I'm happy that Artemis at least is getting an uneasiness about her brother that everyone else feels except her. So With that being said, let me jump into my prediction for episode 143. So for my first and only prediction for episode 143, I predict that Artemis, after this phone call, she is maybe going to reach out to Eros and tell him about the whole encounter. Maybe instead of directly getting the truth from Percy, she's going to begin maybe asking her brother or reach out to Eros, really trying to do some observing and listening from other people herself. Well, that's it for today, guys. Let me know, what do you guys think Artemis is going to do next episode? Go follow me on both Instagram and Twitter and smash that like button if you enjoyed watching. And finally, guys, hit that subscribe and notification button to see more of me, Sensei Pink.